Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is February 4th, I think. Yes, February 4th. Uh, it's kind of late at night. I think it's 8 or 9, I can't remember. But just got done with the 12-hour shift at the factory job and got the boy picked up from basketball practice and all that, and they're in there playing video games. So if you hear some background noise, please excuse it. It's they're having a good time. So anyway, I wanted to throw a video together real quick. I noticed the time of month, and I thought I better get February's video out. So it's a little rushed and not real polished again, but one thing I wanted to cover that in the last video, apparently I miscommunicated a bit. I had some coworkers come up to me. I did not just up and quit my job. That would be kind of irresponsible. You've got to plan with running a business and building a business to, make good financial decisions, and you've got bills to pay and got to keep food on the table. And so until I deem that I'm in a good spot to do the full transition, I'll be working a full-time job, throughout these videos, and I'll let you know when that time comes, and we'll try to go over some financial planning stuff as I kind of figure it out. So anyway, I don't know how much memory I have left on my phone, so I'm going to try to keep the talking part short, but I wanted to cover that. Don't just, oh, I'm going to do this and up and quit your job without thinking things through well enough, okay? Because it can definitely bite you in the butt, especially when you have other people depending on you, financially speaking. So I'll probably bring the camera in a little closer here in just a second, kind of over my shoulder. Hopefully, I got a cool little articulating arm the other day off Amazon, and that's, I think, going to be quite handy bringing you in to the easel. But I wanted to add a little more fun to the video, not just be talking the whole time. So I'm going to do a little drawing. It'll just be a quick one, not real detailed or anything. One of my coworkers had brought up the other day when I was working with them that they always have trouble drawing eyes. And so I thought, well, that seems like a good topic to kind of cover. I'm not going to necessarily teach you exactly how to draw an eye, but it's more just, you can kind of watch over my shoulder and see how I do it. I might make a comment here or there if things occur to me while I'm doing it, but it's not going to be like a full-blown tutorial video or anything. Those will come later, probably in an actual series on drawing and things like that. But anyway, just to kind of keep things changed up a little bit, I figured why not have some drawing in here, because, gonna be an artist, you gotta draw, right? So anyway, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Like I said, it's kind of rushed, but I wanted to stick to the goal of at least every month doing a video, and hopefully I'll do more than that. I did the little short the other day. Hopefully y'all had fun with that, getting to see the hogs and stuff. Life happens and there's other stuff that is out there. So I wanted to kind of just quickly show that. It's kind of comical thing. So anyway, without further ado, I will flip the camera off for a second, reposition it. I'm going to attempt to splice the videos together. So we'll see how my video editing skills goes for the first time, and we'll take it from there. So I hope you all enjoy the little demo thing, and look for another video in March, if not sooner. So stay tuned for just a second with me, and we'll get right to the drawing. Thanks. All right, guys. So we're back here. I'm going to, real quickly, I'm trying something here I've never tried before. I'm actually looking through my cell phone right now, and I'm just going to put these little marks so I can kind of see, because I'm going to have my head off to the side of the camera, and that way hopefully I can keep things kind of centered. And I need to adjust my little clip. My paper is buckling. You want your paper to be attached, pretty well when you're drawing anything, if you don't want it crawling all over the place. And we'll put some reference lines there. Yeah, that looks like it's in the middle of the camera. Cool. So anyway, as you can see, pencil's pretty sharp. We'll go into a little lesson later on actually how to properly sharpen a pencil. This is obviously sharpened with a mechanical pencil sharpener. You know, it's a H pencil. There are different grades of hardness. There's a hardness scale on pencils for those of you who don't know that. So we'll go into all that stuff later. But again, this is going to just be more of me trying to start off, you know, just a simple eyeball. So, you know, pretty simple, a circle, right? A lot of the time I like to kind of dictate where a light source is coming from. So I might put a little light arrow on there, you know, and write light even if I'm feeling forgetful that day, so I don't forget. So let's say, you know, you got your eyeball. I said I wasn't going to talk through the whole thing, and now I'm talking. You'd have a tear duct, all right? I don't even know what species of eyeball we're even drawing here right now, okay? It's just an eye. It could be an animal eye, a human eye. Let's see. I don't know. We'll put a... See how I'm kind of making my hand curve? That eyelid wraps, see? So you're creating the illusion of three-dimensional, so you've got to have some what looks like shape coming through. So like the eyeball's kind of bulging out right here. And then your eyelid and stuff and your brow muscles and all that would, you know, kind of be up in here. Say there's an eyebrow going across there. It's not really in proportion all that well, but you get the idea. It'd be like your nose. I guess it'll be human face because it's coming out human-like. Maybe a little crease right there, roughly. Cheekbone. You know, this is like your orbital socket right here, which I about wiped mine out just last night on the car. That was fun. Opened the car, pulled a bonehead move. I turned real quick and wound up running the corner of that thing right into my orbital socket. I'm lucky I didn't lose an eye. I was definitely saying some prayers after that because that could have been a bad deal. An artist with no depth perception, while not impossible to make art, would make it more difficult. So I don't think we need these little reference lines right here in the middle. I have ADD, for those of you who don't know, so I get distracted sometimes, but there we go. Proof that it's not illegal to erase. You can erase. Just try not to use the eraser any more than you have to. You know, use it for erasing in details and stuff later. But anyway, we've got kind of an eyeball now wrapped in. If you guys think of any questions you have, you know, I might not think of what to tell you while I'm doing this, but as you're watching this, if you have questions, by all means, you know, make a comment and ask me, and I will try to keep on those comments and answer them as they come in. There's going to be a little thickness to this eyelid right here, so see, like a thickness right there where it sticks out from the head a bit, where the eyelashes would be coming out, you know, kind of like that. So this is kind of difficult with my head off to the side here. I'm not used to seeing things from this perspective. It's kind of interesting. But you see how it's beginning to kind of take shape. It's kind of looking like a three-dimensional thing a little bit better. One thing about eyeballs too, like if we go in here, we can do some shading real quick. The dog's outside the door. He or she, whichever one it is, hears me and they're curious what I'm doing. But throw a little shading in here because it's a, you know, supposed to be a three-dimensional object. And even though this is the white of the eye, it's not white. You know, this is stark white paper, but it's not. There's very little in a painting or a drawing. I can hear them in there they're strategizing. I think they're playing, oh, what is that game? They're playing Borderlands, I think is what it is. But anyway, back to this. You see how it's a little darker here, a little lighter here. Here's our light source. So the eyeball overall as a whole has a little shading, and it's not stark white. And then you've got, you know, your, what is that called? The iris. The actual colored part will make them looking off kind of this direction. So we just roughly draw that in there. This is like another plane here, okay? You got to understand, this is a curve, you know, a three-dimensional object, curved ball, more or less. This here is actually more of a kind of cupped, flat-ish angle that is in the eyeball. And that's one thing I think people have a difficulty understanding, is it's in the eyeball, and light kind of comes in and refracts through that jelly cornea area that's in there that kind of bulges out from the eye just a little bit, that lens right there. So you've got to kind of think of this as different parts and how that light is going to play with that. So anyway, let's throw a pupil in here real quick. We don't want to go too dark because I need to throw a highlight in here. Remember, our light's up here. So another thing too, people forget, you know, shiny surface, it's got a highlight, all right? Maybe it's even got a little bit more of a highlight right here and here, and these highlights can even be different values of shading on them. I'm gonna get my head moved around my camera where I can see my eraser here real quick, or just kind of feel it out. Yeah, I about erased the highlight. That's all right. We'll draw it back in a second. It doesn't need an outline, by the way. This is very outliney. Reality does not have outlines. If you look at any piece of furniture in your house, your face, anything, we're not going for coloring book here, and coloring books have outlines, right? Well, reality does not have outlines. All that is in your environment around you is going to be where light meets shadow, you know, coming from this side. So shadow, light, and there's a gradient right there on the eyeball where the curvature is, right? And then, you know, since this folds up underneath this lid, if it's a fairly heavy lid, we might even add a little bit more shading, like right in here. This eyeball is opened fairly wide, so there's going to be a lot of light striking, but up here in the corner, we might have a little, you know, darker shading. And maybe down here, like I've already done a little bit, there might be a little shading coming up from there too. But you've got that value scale of light meeting shadow, and that is what is defining the edges of things, not these lines. These are just rough, sketchy lines. This is not what you would leave on a finished drawing. You would get rid of this. This would be smooth in different areas, and it would just be, you know, say we had a dark background. Let's throw it in here real quick, since I'm thinking of it. I'm kind of jumping around. You'll have to bear with me. I'm really trying to fight running out of memory on the old phone here. But just, you know, roughly, if you had black all around here, in the, say, this person, you know, has lighter skin tone than the dark background, which it would be, you know, we can make it kind of foggy looking even by smearing it a little. This is a pretty hard pencil, so it's not going to smear that much, but instead of a line being right here like I've used to just do the rough outline, you would have a gradient of values, whatever you deem they might be, meeting the black background right here. There's not a line right there, okay? So same thing up here with the colored part of the eye. You know, we've got a dark area up here because this eyeball, if you remember, let's see if I can, let me look at my camera here. If you're looking at like a side profile, like slicing the eyeball, if I'm remembering my anatomy correctly, it almost kind of does this, and you'd have the surface of the round eyeball part here. This is the colored part right here, and it kind of dips down in there a little bit. You know, you got your pupil would be kind of right there, and this fiber network right here on each side, that's this part. So light, if it's coming in here, and you know, you've got your cornea bumped up here, light's coming in here, it's going to hit in here and highlight, you know, this little area, but on this side, it's going to be darker right in here. And so that's what's happening right here. Light's coming from up here, and if we go through, you know, we've got to engineer this in our brain a little bit, since this is just out of my head. I'm not using a reference or anything. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. But see, this colored part of the eye is not all one color. I'm kind of very rudimentarily, if that's a word, I'm adding different values. You can even draw, you know, in this case, since it's a rough sketch, some little lines, you know, the little fibers that I was talking about in there. This being very dark right here, which this pencil is not going to get it that dark because it's a hard lead, but that being really dark, you notice if you look at your eye or somebody else's eye, this is like a black hole right here. I mean, no light escapes that dude other than this reflection. Pardon me, I've been drinking Coca-Cola and I've got the burps. But this reflection is the only thing that's going to affect it. This is like just dark. You know, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and they kind of draw you in. That's why. It's because it's very dark right here, which I can't depict with this pencil. And then, like I said, the white of the eye can have shading on it, and we might even need a little more shading. Now the air conditioner, or the heater kicked on. It's actually cool tonight. Hopefully you can hear me over it. My head is right next to this, so I have no idea how our audio is going to turn out. But anyway, the camera thing is distracting my poor ADD mind a little bit, but you get the general idea. We'll do a better video. You know, throw some eyelashes in there. It's kind of a crap looking eye for me with what I'm used to doing. Some people would really like if they drew an eye like this, but you know, we're all at different experience levels, and I'm not trying to knock anybody's experience level or anything, but you got to be able to deal with critique a little bit. Getting distracted here. Yeah, see, eyelashes come out of the thick part of the lid there, and you can't really see the edge like you can here up here, but you know that they kind of come out from underneath there. So anyway, hopefully I haven't rambled too much, but you know, you can add value in here a little bit of shadow next to the nose. Not really drawing the nose. We're not worried about the nose. That's another thing too. You can leave parts of something. This is a very worried looking eye. When I kind of get back away from this thing a little bit, I mean, that's kind of nutty. How concerned that look. Maybe I'm concerned about something, and I am transferring it to my drawing. I don't know. You can find out a lot about yourself with artwork, which is kind of fun. You might depict something, and then later on you look at it and you're like, why did I do that like that? You know, so let me back away here and look at the camera real quick. Yeah, not the best I've ever done, but not the worst, I said. I guess so. You can go in here and take out some of your little reference lines. So it's just, you know, piddling around right now at this point. We could even take our little, which this has a bunch of junk impregnated into the paper roll, so this may be way darker than I had intended. Let's try a little bit of smoothing out on this. That part right there, I do it kind of without thinking about it. That little highlight around the dark part there, that contrast, that is actually something that I've personally observed happen with eyeballs a little bit, where that part where the little strands that go across the colored part will kind of wrap up over that middle. It's like a muscle that kind of shrinks, I think, in your eyeball. Again, I don't remember my anatomy completely, but so that'll have a little light because your light source is coming in and striking this raised spot, and then it drops down and gets a little darker, and then it might even be a little bit highlighted in a few places right there, which I don't have a small enough eraser to mess with it right now, and we're not going to get that detailed. But just, hopefully this gets your juices flowing, your brain kind of working. Maybe you've observed some things while I've been doing this talking that maybe you haven't observed before. Something to just kind of chew on. And again, any questions at all, please put them in the comments and ask away. I do not mind answering questions. It may take me a second to get back to you. You know, it'll probably be the next video or something, but by all means, throw questions at me. I would be more than happy to help anybody I can. I think, you know, I was put on this earth to make art, and hopefully to teach people how to make art, and maybe help them with the business as well. That's why I'm doing the videos I'm doing. So anyway, I got black junk and oil all over my hands from working on the truck the other day. We'll pull out from the easel. I think we've piddled around enough, and do a little closer for the video, and then we will catch you next time. So bear with me. Let me readjust my camera and I'll splice all this stuff together and try to get it posted tonight. All right. We're back. I just shook the camera. Hopefully I didn't give you a headache. You can see the size of paper next to my giant head. Pretty good sized piece of paper, and it's pretty faint in the video from what I'm seeing. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that, and maybe you got something from it, maybe you didn't. Leave a comment. Like I said, we'll try to I'm going to aim for early March, get another video out, if not sooner, and hopefully I'll have a little more stuff on the business I figured out. I came across a product the other day, never used it before, so I can't say if it works well or not, but it's a wristband. Apparently people are using it kind of like a digital business card. You can tap it against somebody's phone, the smartphones, I believe, and it will transfer your information, whatever you've put on there, to their phone. So I'm going to look into that a little bit, because at like at Robbers Cave out here in Oklahoma where I'm at, they have a fall festival every year, and I've thought about putting up like a little tent and selling some prints or something like that. And when people ask for your business card, but then they lose it in the shuffle and this and that. So if it could be put directly on your phone with this wristband thing that's supposed to be waterproof, I think that could be a very handy deal. So we'll see. I'll look into it more and let you know what my thoughts are. I might even order one. I like the little arm that I've got the phone clamped to right now. It seems to be working pretty good, at least indoors with no wind. I'm waiting on a microphone, hopefully. I don't know if you can hear me well in these videos or not. My son's got me a lapel mic he ordered, and we've been waiting for over a month now for it to get here in the mail, so hopefully it'll get here. I did get a boom mic the other day, but I haven't figured out how to use the thing yet. I've got to get some software or something rigged up, but anyway. Maybe somebody has some experience with that. They can share with me and educate me on that, because you're learning and I'm learning, so it's kind of a fun back and forth thing. So anyway, thank you for your time. I'll try not to take up any more of it. Hope you enjoyed the drawing, and I will try to touch base with everybody again. I might throw another little short out here in the next week or two, I suppose, before the main video that'll come out in March. And I think we have some hogs born in March, so maybe maybe we'll take a reference picture of some of the piglets, the cute little piglets, and try to draw or paint that or something. And then again, go over some more business stuff. So anyway, we'll have fun with it. So I hope you all have a good night and a good February. We're already into it a little bit, but better later than never, I guess. So I can't think of anything else. I forgot to make my note card I talked about in the last video again to remind me of what I was talking about. So anyway, I hope you all have a good one, and keep your pencil sharp.